Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and His Son Yahushua Mashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo. Today is the 8th of September 2024. It's 9:29 p.m. Eastern Time, and I was doing a little analysis here, and we had a discussion in premium tier futures, and just trying to kind of decipher where the market is probably going to go. So I started looking at the US dollar, the Japanese yen index, and the USD JPY, right? And the reason for that is because the US dollar is a safe haven currency, and the JPY is also, the yen is also a safe haven currency, right? Now, when you start seeing buying in the US dollar, usually it has a divergent correlation compared to the ES, right? So if there's dollar strength, sometimes you get like weakness in the stock market, the SPX, ES futures, stuff like that, right? Now on the monthly chart here, it's looking kind of like a distribution structure, right? So let me just open this up again, open it up a little more. So this is the monthly chart, and this is monthly candles here. Now we've seen for the past 3 months we've seen significant selling. Well, the past 2 months, we're in the third month right here. So the past 2 months we got significant selling right here in the US dollar, right? So that's this right here and this right here. Now comparatively we had some selling. Let's see what month that was. And this was actually 2023 in November, right? We had a sell-off in November, December, right? So 2024, we have a sell-off here in July and August, right? So let's see 2023, July and August. So 2023, July and August, let's see, we had buying, right? So we had this support level buying, big wick, and then we had this buying bar right here, which took us up to October, when the buying stopped in November and we started to sell in 2023, right? So right now we're back at this support area here on the US dollar, and the US dollar, if we start dropping down to, let's try out the weekly and see what's going on here. So the weekly is down as support. It's showing a little buying coming in here. We kind of retraced 50% of this selling from last week, right? So let's go down to the daily chart and see what that's looking like. So when you start looking at the daily chart, it's looking like a selling climax, a automatic rally, a secondary stop. And let me just kind of point these out as I'm going along here. So we would have the secondary, the selling climax. This is the preliminary stop. That's the uptrust, the automatic rally. And this is the secondary stop. Now from here, we're supposed to start getting another test up to this level here. And then we might get some sideways movement, right? But as of right now, it's looking bullish because we're getting a lot of buying volume, right? Big wick on Friday, and we're pushing back up, right? So we're no longer at this this support level or this selling climax level. We're actually getting buyers pushing up. So if we start seeing strength in the US dollar, we could probably start anticipating a little weakness in the ES, right? So right now the ES is at a, let's say it's at a decisive price level where it could possibly break down and start taking out some shorts, some buy shorts. Yeah, some buy shorts. No, sell stops, my bad. So let's go over here to the Japanese yen, right? So this is the monthly chart on the Japanese yen. So the last couple of months here, we had heavy buying in July, which looks kind of like a stop run because we don't have the volume. The volume came in on this candle here in August, right? So we had a lot of buying volume, but we did get selling coming back down. So it's like a PS above this level here, right at 7,286. Let's see, what's the top of this candle here? So the high of this candle was 7,252, and we pierced above that, right? So we got up to a high of 7,360. So, and this is the FXCM yen index basket, right? So it's heavy buying, but we did get selling. We did take profit up there, right? Now we're starting to get a little recovery, low buying, low volume as well, but we're getting the push up to the upside. Now, is it going to reject this level, or did we sweep and clear out some stops for us to get the run up, right? Now, if the yen continues to gain strength, that'll be the yen is a safe haven currency. So if big players are expecting that the ESO, the stock market, is going to start moving into a decline, this year is going to pick up some steam because that's where they're going to park their money, right, as a safe haven currency. So with this here, I'm watching to see what's going to happen here. It's looking bullish right now. We cleared out some short stop, if any, and now we're taking it back up, but the volume isn't there yet. We have the VRSI, which is the volume relative strength index. That's to the buy side, and that's rising, right? So that's looking bullish right there. If we come down to the weekly, right, the weekly is looking good. Buys, 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 rising volume. We had the seller right there, take profit, clear some stops, and now we're getting sustained buying volume right here on the buying volume bars. The VRSI is looking good. All positive, right? When it goes into the yellow, it's negative. And actually, I want to change these colors so kind of have everything in sync. All right, so looking good on the buy side for the yen. That's kind of signaling that there is going to be some parking of money into the safe haven, which is the Japanese yen. It's at the bottom here. Um, if you want to buy some yen, it's really cheap right now. So we could take it back up to some of these levels here, try and test some of these levels of high volume right here, around 8,088, right? So if that starts to pick up traction and we get a move up, we could start to see some dips in the ES, right? Because that'll signify that, money is being put into safe haven currencies, right? So looking at the USD JPY right now, the US dollar is the leading factor in this pair, right? So it's USD JPY. So if the market is moving up, that means the US dollar is strong. If the market is moving down, that means the US dollar is weak. Now, let's go back over here. We have the US dollar for a couple of days dropping down to these lows and now starting to accumulate a little bit, right? So we're starting to see a little strength in support. Let's not say strength as yet. Let's say after we break out this level here at around 12,807, then we'll start to consider the US dollar being strong. But right now, let's say it's accumulation, right? And this is the Dow Jones FXCM dollar index. This isn't the Dixie. So it's the same thing, but just this is better weighted against other currencies compared to the Dixie. The Dixie is a kind of outdated weighting between the currencies, right? So this is an updated version of the DXY. So if we do break out these levels at 12,806, then we could start thinking about this being strong, right? But right now we're seeing the buying is coming in, right? And on the JPY on the daily, we're also seeing buying, right? So if you look at the Forex pair USD JPY, if the both currencies are buying at the moment, we want to see, well, which one is actually winning, right? So which one has the stronger buying? And we have USD JPY now still in a downtrend and moving to the downside. So that means that the yen is actually stronger than the US dollar or getting more buys put into it than the US dollar. If the US dollar was getting more buys, that means that the USD JPY would have already pushed up to the upside, right, against the Japanese yen, right? But we're actually getting days of consecutive selling, right? So that means the US dollar is getting sold against the Japanese yen. So that's kind of like a hint that um, big money is getting poured into the JPY, right, or the yen. So that means that we could be cautious, start to be cautious for, let's see here, let's see, take this off, right? And this is the daily chart on the ES, right? Now, if you look at this chart, let's see if I have, wait, hold on. Yeah, we'll stick with this one. Right, so we had consecutive selling days dropping down here on the ES, and it's looking like it could actually break these levels and start heading down towards this swing low right here, right? Now, you can imagine there probably is a lot of stops below here, people trying to buy the dips and buy the reverse. You see here was a significant level for buyers to try and jump back in, and we're at around that same level as well, right? So in the ETH session right now, the Asian session, we're actually getting a little buying coming in here. So let me just drop down to the 1 hour chart. Right, so since the session has opened, all we got is buying bars on the 1 hour. Right, so steady buying to the upside, right? Right, so this could be possibly like a retest and basically short the pop in the making, right? Because we're looking at the bigger picture, we're looking at the yen getting strength, getting buyers jumping into the yen, which is a safe haven currency, right? On the daily, see how big, how bullish that looks. It's a bull flag, which is looking like it's about to break out to the top side, right? And the US dollar is also a safe haven currency, right? But if the US dollar starts picking up strength, that's bad for the ES, right? So the both of them, JPY and the US dollar, is setting up to go bullish. So that's no good for the ES, right? That'll put the ES under pressure and that'll probably bring us down to the swing low of 5200 or possibly this level I have here, 5161.75, right? So as the week begins tomorrow, I think there's news on Wednesday. I think that's the 11th, not sure. But on Wednesday, we have core inflation news coming out. So that could be a catalyst as we probably creep higher a little bit Monday and Tuesday to around these levels, retest this breakdown level here at 54.90, and then we get like a breakdown again, right? And we start tackling these sell stops here, right? Because you could definitely probably just visualize how many stops are in this market here. After this bull run, we're already starting to hit stops because these guys who put their stops here above this range, right? Just open this up, right? So we had this bull flag here, failed bull flag, gonna hit some stops, and that's how we're coming down to this level. So I'm looking out for possibly some weak buying, which you don't really need strong buying to take out stops. Just if there's no sellers applying pressure to add to the short, then we could creep up, clear some stops up to about 54.90, and probably on Wednesday start taking out these lows again. So that's kind of like my little thesis there, just using the US dollar US dollar strength right now, seeming like it might want to pop up. If it does pull back here a little bit, that's going to cause the ES to retrace back to 54.90, and the Japanese yen is not looking like it has any retracement in sight right now. It's looking like it wants to target these levels up here within this wick, right? But we do have some selling. Let's go down to the 1 hour chart on JPY. Right, so it's doing the opposite of the ES, right? So you can see we could probably think of this as a divergent market compared to the ES right now. So we're looking for, if this starts reversing, this is a golden pivot zone here, Camarilla S3 and central pivot on the weekly. If we start getting support here and it starts rising again, at this point here, the market might be around 54.90, the ES, right? Might be around 54.90 where we start getting buyers again on the Japanese yen. So I'll definitely be looking at this market here in correlation, see how it's relating to the ES, right? Where are we? Right, so this is the 1 hour chart on the ES so far. This is the 1 hour chart on JPY so far. So let's look at the US dollar 1 hour chart, see what it's doing. And it's basically pushing to the upside, right? So a little bit of selling, take profit there, came back down to test these lows at the central pivot. And basically just kind of from Friday, it's kind of bull flagging right now, right? Because we definitely got big buyers coming in on the US dollar. So right now it's holding that level, gaining acceptance in this bull flag and probably looking to push to the upside, right? So looking at it as maybe it might start applying some pressure to the ES as well. So Japanese yen selling off, USD JPY, let's look at that on the 1 hour chart and see what's going on there. And so far that means that the US dollar is in control right now with the buy side, right? So the US dollar is gaining some strength in this USD JP. Actually, this is in, wait, hold on. Come on, where are you? Right. Right, so that's USD JPY, the US dollar gaining strength right now against the yen. The yen selling off, and the US dollar seemingly getting some buys right here. So we have US dollar strength, JPY weakness for now, and USD JPY looking like it wants to reverse. So either way, strong US dollar or a strong JPY wouldn't be so good for the ES. But right now we're getting the ES and the US dollar buying in tandem. So I'm gonna be looking out for a break in that relationship right there to become divergent, because one of them might have to give. You know what I'm saying? You might not have buying with the US dollar and the stock market at the same time, right? So it's just, I think it's just because the US dollar is kind of cheap right now, it's down at its lows. That's why the two of them could kind of move in tandem at the moment, you know. So looking out for some weakness on the ES next week. I mean, this week. And let's see what happens on Wednesday. But tomorrow I'll be cautious, just trying to see what price action is going to do. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.